My first hack and slash game was God of War 3, which came bundled with the PS4 and 2 other games. Of all the 3 games, I liked this game the most. Uncharted 4 and Horizon Zero Dawn were not for me.
Give it up!
Then I downloaded the RPCS3 emulator and played all the other games in this series, even Ascension.
Why isn't this working? Is there something missing?
And one day, quite by accident and unreasonably, YouTube algorithms decided to give me a review on Sonic PO6.
What the hell is this?
I was not interested in the series and am not interested. But one said function attracted me in this review.
New moves each character has. The current only kind of functions like SA1 and 2 where Sonic and Shadow will dash forward and punch. But I think that art's a little too quick in PO6, so I'm not comfortable to use. The third option, the legacy only attack for attack launch. This one is like Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Changing the movements of the main characters to those that were presented in other games. And this little thing aroused such enthusiasm that I wanted to do something similar, but with God of War games, considering how many variations of certain movements were presented in 6 games. But, having never learned how to program, I abandoned this idea until YouTube algorithms gave me another video, What if Raiden was in Smash? Moveset ideas, which is why I paid attention in the first video. This idea was revived from a different angle, to make it not as a game, but as a YouTube video. And in this video I will show this idea, and maybe I will cause a wave of similar videos and LTG rage from Mustafa.
Your life is nothing!
I must say right away that there will be no movements from the games released after 2018, because there is not the same Kratos.
You should now!
Let's start with the Blades of Chaos. I cannot speak fluently, or write scripts properly. I cannot understand English, but let me cook some
Crazy?
What the hell is this?
First, I will return Hermes' Russian Fury to the same button as in the original God of War 1, but instead of Hermes Stomp, make Hyperion Charge from Ghost of Sparta, since these movements have the same functionality, but the duration of action differs in favor of Hyperion Charge. At the same time, if you press the circle during this move, you will receive L1 plus the circle from the God of War 2 demo. And also make a run like in Ascension on L3. And make the block and attack canceller. Holding a square is definitely from God of War 3 from Blades of Exile, because this movement is very similar to the movements from the cutscene where Kratos kills his family. Plus it looks like Danse Macabre from DMC, so it's unconditional. Holding a square after dodging or while running is a kick or uppercut, depending on the duration of the hold, from God of War Ascension, which was on pressing the circle. Holding a triangle after dodging or while running, from God of War 2-3. Holding a cross after dodging or while running, Hyperion Rush from Ghost of Sparta, because this move looks very cool and sick. Pressing on the triangle is the original combo from God of War 1 and 2, due to the fact that it has more hits. And because of one unforeseen feature, if you press the square and then the triangle, then the combo will be faster and more hits due to the first square. And if you say that the combo from God of War 3 is stronger than from God of War 2, then I will say that in God of War 3, Athena's Blades attacks were made much weaker than in the original God of War 2. So I choose the original combo. Yes, the new version looks much more aggressive and cooler, but I chose the original combo precisely because of the number of hits and an unforeseen feature. About holding the triangle, I'm not sure which is better, from the original games or from Ascension, since both look good and do their job. The combination of light attacks in the air will be the original one from God of War 1, and the new version will be on the input, square, square, triangle. That's why I want to make a block cancel. If you just press the combination, there will be a version from God of War 3, level 1. If you hold down a square, then there will be a version from God of War 2, if you press the square before the final strike during any of the previously named versions, there will be a part from God of War 3 of the maximum level, and if you still hold down on the last strike, then there will be a finisher from God of War Ascension with full rage. The version in the air will be from God of War 2, but if you keep holding the square, then there will be a version from Ghost of Sparta. If you press the triangle one time, there will be a version from God of War 3, if you hold it down, there will be a version from the same game, but the maximum level. If you press the triangle several times before the explosion, then there will be a version from God of War 2, and if you hold the triangle after the explosion in any of the previously mentioned versions, then there will be a finisher from Ascension with full rage. The aerial version will be from God of War 1, but if you hold the triangle, there will be a version from God of War 2, and if you continue to hold during the explosion, there will be a finisher from Ascension with full rage. Rampage of the Furies, from Chains of Olympus.
Kill yourself!
But wait to turn off the video, I'll explain it later. And now there will be new inputs for the series. L1 plus circle plus triangle will be Rising Helios from God of War Ascension. If you hold the triangle while twisting, then at the end there will be an explosion, as in the first God of War, and if you still continue to hold the triangle during this explosion, then there will be a Tartarus Rage finisher from Ascension with full rage. L1 plus circle plus triangle in the air will be from God of War 3 the Blades of Exile version, and, again, the same gimmicks. The second new input for the series is, L1 plus cross plus square. For this input, I will make Apollo's Ascension and Offensive. The last input for today will be a crosspiece plus any attack button so that these attacks can be used freely without cooldowns. Moreover, the Blades of Chaos ground version on the square will be the original one from God of War 1 after the second attack, because you can make a variation, that if you pressed on a square, there will be this version. If a square and a triangle, this one. If you hold down a square and at a certain moment press the triangle, this one. On input, the crosspiece plus triangle will be a move from the Blades of Exile, well, or the fastest attack similar to it, I don't know which one. And if you press the crosspiece plus L1 plus triangle in the air at the same time, then there will be Tartarus Rage from God of War Ascension. Approximately the same inputs will be available for other weapons from God of War 3. And the most interesting thing is the grab on the circle button. It will be of two types, melee from normal games and distant from Ascension. Square in the melee grab, hits on the enemy, which in the original games were on the circle button. The triangle in the melee grab is an exclusive attack. The circle in the melee grab is to be thrown aside, as in Ascension. Cross in the melee grab, throw it up. L1 plus square in melee grab is a circular attack like Undead Legionnaire. L1 plus triangle in the melee grab, grab this enemy from Ghost of Sparta. L1 plus circle in the melee grab, move to the distant one. Running plus grab, as in Ghost of Sparta with this enemy, R1 plus circle in this state is a transition to a melee grab. L3 during grab, Kratos will run with the enemy. The circle in far grab is pulling the enemy towards you. The cross in far grab is to pull up to the enemy. Square, triangle in the far grab as in Ascension. To grab an enemy that is in the air, spring it off. Grab an enemy that is in the air holding a circle, pull up to yourself or exclusively discard the enemy, like a Minotaur. Grab the enemy in the air by holding R1, as in Ascension or God of War 3. If you grab the enemy in the air and simultaneously point the left stick in the opposite direction from the enemy, then there will be an animation of the Persian warrior from Chains of Olympus. This weapon appeared only in 4 games of the original saga. And there's not much I can do. For example, make Divine Absolution on R1, and the air version will be Spartan Glory, L1 plus square will be a Spartan Spirit. The grabs for this weapon will only be melee, and without some of the moves that Blades of Chaos had, but the L1 triangle Kratos will put the enemy on the floor and plunge the sword into him, like one move from Mortal Kombat. As Zesty wanted, some boss moves can be made for new inputs. L1 circle for this variation of Tartarus Rage. However, what to do with the aerial version of this attack? L1 plus triangle plus circle for this attack, and if Kratos misses, he will miss, but by the way a similar attack was in Ascension, so there are already animations for Kratos. I can also add this move from Ascension to the input, L1 plus square plus cross, and I can do after the finishers of some attacks, either hands will appear, or this. And of course I can do Army of Hades as replaceable souls, and with Gorgon I can do the same variability as God of War 2. About grabs there is a similar situation as with Blade of Olympus, but there will be a distant grab, the moves of which will repeat the usual moves, well, or the Hades moves, but with the circle it will be more interesting here. If you just press on the circle, then there will be an original soul rip, which, let's be honest, is not it.
What god left this?
If you compare it with the early version from the demo where Kratos attracts the soul.
Why did they remove this?
If you hold down the circle. Moreover, if Kratos attracts the soul, he will get the same orbs as if he would just kill the enemy, but if someone hits him, then he will have to do it again. I don't know what the developers did with this weapon in Ascension, but I know moves that did not make it into the final God of War 3. Running on L3 and on R1, followed by attacks after them. For example, if you press on the circle during R1, then upon reaching the enemy, Kratos will run with him like with Hercules. I'll also add an air-crushing strike and move from Ascension to the L1 circle, and the original air-crushing strike can be done on R1. About the distant grab, it will be different here than with other weapons. Kratos will attract the enemy to any button, but the finishers themselves will be different. For example, if you press a square, then Kratos will attract the enemy and then he will make Brutal Ascension from PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. And the triangle will be the same, but the finisher will be Cestus Slam, and the aerial version will be this, and the circle will be the same as in the original God of War 3. The same will happen with melee, but without attraction. Yes, this weapon will have a version of Rampage of the Furies from God of War 2, because it is.
Do you see, gods of Olympus? Do you need more proof than this?
But instead of the L1 circle, there will be an L1 triangle. Why? Because I want to do some Blades of Chaos moves on this weapon, for example, Olympic slash on the initial input, and Archives flip from the God of War 2 demo on a triangle after dodge, and Avenging Strike on a square. I also can do Deadly Reprisal on R1. The cross piece plus attack button will have a move from the God of War 3 demo, which, in fact, is the finisher of the combo of light attacks, and the aerial version will be Athena's Wrath from the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. The triangle in the air will be Athena's Fury, and if you hold down the button, it will be an original attack. Distant grabs for this weapon will look like this move from Ascension, and, as in the normal state, the square will be electrocuted on the ground, and the triangle in the air. All other moves in the far grab will be the same as those of the Blades of Chaos, and the melee grab will not have some moves. It's simple here. Rage of the Titans with a heavy attacks combo, infinite magic and invulnerability from Rage of the Gods. The only thing, Prometheus Inferno to do on input L1 plus R1, and not just L1, so that you can use moves. And if you switch to Blade of Olympus, there will be moves, or rather there will be only a combo on the square button, from God of War 3. And that's all I came up with. If you don't like something, correct me in the comments or make the same video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like this video and you will see the following characters soon.
You hate roosters. You hate cocks.
Time to try out some of the local Colombian delicacies.
Have sex with men, 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 have sex with men.